6 months after Daniel left the house, my mother called a family dinner. A reconciliation dinner, she said. Everyone together at the house I grew up in, because she couldn't stand the silence between her daughters and she was convinced that with enough pot roast and wine, things could be stitched back up. I didn't want to go. Priya told me not to go. Marcus, when I mentioned it over coffee, looked at me carefully and said, "What does your gut say?" "My gut says it's a trap," I said. "That's usually the gut's best trick," he said. "Telling you what you already know." I went anyway, because I am my mother's daughter underneath everything, and because some part of me, the part that had not yet cauterized, still needed to see Cassidy's face and understand it. Needed to know if I could see the shape of the betrayal in her eyes now that I was looking for it. I drove to my mother's house on a Saturday in March. Marin was with Priya for the afternoon. I wore a black dress on purpose, the way you wear armor. Cassidy opened the door. She looked terrible. She had lost weight and her skin had that papery quality of someone who hadn't slept in months. She looked at me with an expression that was equal parts guilt and terror and something else I couldn't immediately name. "Ava," she whispered. "Cassidy," I said, and walked past her into the house. My mother had outdone herself with the table, the good china, fresh flowers, rolls still warm in the basket. A performance of normalcy so elaborate it was almost aggressive. Daniel was not there. Even my mother understood that was a bridge too far. But there was a space at the table that felt like an absence, a place set for someone who hadn't arrived yet. We were halfway through the main course when I heard the front door open. I heard children. 3 of them. I heard Daniel's voice. The sound of his voice in my mother's house, in the house where I had grown up, on a day that was supposed to be a reconciliation between sisters. It struck me as so specifically, precisely wrong that for a moment the room tilted. He walked in carrying a toddler on his hip, a small hand tucked in each of his. 3 small faces, all various shades of Cassidy and Daniel, arranged in descending height like a terrible proof of something. The youngest was barely a year. The oldest couldn't have been older than 3. 3.5 years. He had been with my sister for 3.5 years. The math I had done before, in the kitchen with a glass of wine and a photograph. It splintered open now into something enormous and structural. Not an affair, a whole other life. Not a betrayal, but a replacement. He had not cheated on me with my sister. He had built a family with her while building a decoy family with me.